Hi, this is Roberto Jaques. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to be talking about parenting, and this comes from tips um, that Don Carmelo writes in responses to families that ask for specific uh, help in whatever is occurring in their situation. Today we're going to be talking about common mistakes that occur, while, trying to work with your kids. And I'm going to go ahead and read some of the comments that Don Carmelo makes. One of them is that sometimes there's a lack of consistency in dealing with kids. You have to be consistent. If, for example, if the rule in the house is you do not jump into the sofa, that's what the rule is. You don't jump in the sofa. Doesn't mean if somebody else, let's say your partner or decides that it's okay for them to jump in the sofa, then it's not consistent. You set up a rule, it has to be consistent all the time. Okay? You know, you can't one day say yes, one day say no. Be consistent. Now, if a rule has to be changed, you change it. But consistency is very important so the kids learn what is the expected behavior. Well, one expected behavior they know for sure. You don't jump in beds. Okay? Another one is rewarding inappropriate behavior. You know, a kid does something that's not right, and you reward him. Well, you might think you're not rewarding. Let's say that your child decides to hit his sister, and he starts crying, and you say, "Oh, stop crying! He only barely touched you." Well, that's rewarding the behavior inappropriately. Another one would be is not rewarding appropriate behaviors. This is the opposite of rewarding inappropriate behaviors. It's nice to be able to tell a child, I like the way you help me clean the yard. You know what? Let's go for ice cream. You know, Notice that I use verbalization. It's important to always verbalize anytime you're going to provide a reward or anything of a good consequence. Another one is focusing on the shell instead of the behavior. And we mentioned it before in other videos that when a child is having a problem, you don't focus on the child. You don't say you're bad, you're lazy. You focus on the behavior. What's the behavior? Well, the behavior is that he likes to hit his sister or his brother. That's the behavior you're focusing, not on saying you're bad, because what does it mean to a child? Okay, so instead of saying you're lazy, say you need to pick up your dish from the table and put it in the sink, instead of saying you're lazy. Okay, so it's important to focus on the behavior and not the child. If you make a request for a child, follow up. A lot of times what happens is that requests become like a recording, over and over again. Johnny, stop running. Stop running, Johnny. Stop running. Oh, that that becomes, a record player over and over again. And what happens then is the mom or the dad gets upset because I told you already for the 20th time, stop running. Well, take care of it right away. Johnny stops running. Doesn't stop, then you follow up with a consequence. Johnny, you need to go outside now. Go outside, you don't run inside the house. Follow up. Don't let yourself repeat the behavior over again because it's going to make you upset. And the kid learns that, well, it's not important. She can tell me 10 times. It's not important. I'll wait till she or him get angry. Okay? And another one is not communicating in simple and clear messages. With little kids, you have to talk at their level. Understanding. You don't want to say completely complicated stuff. And sometimes what happens is that we'll tell a kid, go clean your room. Well, what does it mean to clean your room? They say, well, picking up the clothes is cleaning. Well, maybe maybe there's other stuff you want the child to be doing, and so you want to say, Mark, go to your room, pick up your dirty clothes and put in the hamper, and then sweep your room, make the bed, put your toys in the toy basket. Well, you can say that, but to some kids, that's a lot of things to remember. You may want to say, okay, Mark, go to your room and pick up the clothes that go into the hamper, and then come see me. And then when they come back to you, tell them, now we need to go back and sweep. You want to tell them, I'm going to do 4 things, but I want you to do them one at a time so I know you do them. Okay, because some kids, telling them something like that, it gets overwhelming. It becomes overwhelming as for adults. Sometimes your spouse says to you, go to a store and bring me milk, bread, eggs, and tomatoes. You may say, okay. Sometimes you'll tell your partner, would you please write it down? Write it down because you'll forget. No, I won't forget. Sure enough, a lot of times they forget, right? Well, I forget sometimes. So I know from my past experience. Not providing consequence in a manner time, in appropriate manner time. For example, if I'm going to go ahead and give a consequence for Steve for hitting his brother, I want to do it right away. I don't want to tell him an hour later, Steve, you hit your brother, and and this is going to occur, whatever. You want to do it immediately, because the timing is important. It's important to be able to provide that consequence right away, not only for inappropriate behaviors, but also for appropriate behaviors. And sometimes parents need to acknowledge that they make mistakes. Johnny, I'm sorry I yelled at you. I shouldn't have done that. It's okay to say that kind of mistake, to say you're sorry, you made a mistake, because all of us make mistakes. And then kids learn that, you know what, it's okay to be able to say, I made a mistake. That's how we teach those social skills, because all of us make mistakes off and on, and we need to be able to stand up and own that mistake. Oh, Michael, I am sorry, that I, broke your favorite toy or whatever, or Nancy, I forgot to let you know that your friend called. I'm sorry. It's good. It makes us, more human, right? Okay. And one of the things we do is sometimes we rewrite our behavior by adding a negative comment. For example, you might say, Martha, I am glad that you put your clothes in the hamper. It's about time you did that. Well, it sounds good that you praise her, but then when you say, it's time for you to do that, the way you say, what? So you want to avoid adding negative things when you're doing a reward. Oh, it's about time you put the clothes away. It's about time you put the dishes in the washing machine. It doesn't click. It doesn't sound good. Okay, just say, I'm glad you're helping put the dishes in the dishwasher. Great. You want to say, oh, it's about time. It's about time you got up and did something. It sounds, very negative. Okay, so those are some of the common mistakes that all of us make. We need to be aware of them. Okay, so thank you for tuning in, and hope that you will go ahead and see our other videos. Bye.